Thank you, Lasky Hirlik, and I've been listening to what Senator Mooney said with great interest, and I would agree entirely with him. I think he put the case very cogently for a yes vote for the referendum, and he put the case very cogently in favour of the bill we're debating today at committee stage. Senator Cullinan gave a very eloquent second stage speech, but at yesterday's debate at second stage, I thought we did tease out the issues here, and I think none of us are suggesting this treaty is utterly great. None of us says it's a panacea. I think we're all realistic about it, as Senator Mooney has said, and we have to be realistic about it. I don't think it's helpful to speak in overblown language on either side. I think we must be measured in our approach on both sides. I think David Begg's comments, as others have said, were measured. I think he's making the point that he's not wildly enthusiastic about the terms of the treaty, but he accepts that the alternative is worse, that the alternative in terms of the instability and the uncertainty and the message it sends out to potential investors and to others will be worse for working people, for ordinary working people in this country, and that's why, on balance, it appears, and we'll have to wait and see what ICTU does, but on balance it appears that he seems to take an approach in favour. I would say, just looking at the text of the bill which we're debating today, that the referendum, if passed in accordance with this bill, would put into the Constitution the text that the state may ratify the treaty. It doesn't put the text of the treaty into the Constitution. That's an important point that's perhaps been overlooked in the debate. And I know others have asked the Minister about the text that will be going to households along with the text of the treaty itself. Presumably families will also see what they will actually be asked to vote upon on the 31st of May, and they will see the text of the amendment to the Constitution. I think that would be important, that people will get advance notice. We've certainly had a referendum in the past where people have only seen the text as they go into the polling station, and that hasn't been perhaps helpful to making sure that people are voting in an informed manner. I would say, that just in response to a couple of the points Senator Cullinan made, and without making another second stage speech, because I did speak yesterday, there isn't a simple left-right divide on this at EU level. The Party of European Socialists did not vote against the Stability Treaty. They voted against some elements of the Stability and Growth Pact at an earlier stage, but ultimately those who voted against the treaty included not only Sinn Féin, but UK Conservatives and the UK Independence Party. So there's it's not
Democratic parties, don't forget them.
Well, if I could just make the point, I didn't interrupt you, Senator Cullinan. I think that it's worth making that point, that this is not a simple and straightforward divide. There are plenty of parties and individuals on the left in favour, just as there are plenty of persons on the right and on the far right who are very much against this treaty. And I think the potential incoming French president has made a point that he will be including more elements of growth in the treaty, and that's something we argued for from an Irish perspective. And indeed, at page 1, the first of the preambles, the first element of the preamble to the treaty refers to growth, and that's an important point. The Library and Research Services did give us an excellent briefing, Minister, particularly for senators in advance of our previous debate on the 14th of March. And one key point that I took certainly from that briefing was that 90% of the content of the treaty has already been agreed and was already in place through the existing measures like the Stability and Growth Pact. So there isn't a great deal that is new in the treaty. I mean, I would absolutely agree with Senator Mooney. None of us are in favour of austerity. How could one be? And to speak of decades of austerity in the treaty, bringing it in, it really isn't helpful to the debate. What the treaty is trying to do, and what those who negotiated it were trying to do, was to fix the causes of austerity. And this is only part of a jigsaw of different measures. Nobody is saying that this will be the fixing, the thing that will fix it, the golden key or the golden solution. But far from it. I think we'd have to be realistic about it. But it is one way of trying to hold together the euro, which is our currency. Senator Barrett yesterday made a very eloquent speech about the flaws in the original design of the euro. But as I said in response, we are where we are. We have to move on with what we have and try to shore up our existing currency for the sake of our own people and our own economy, and to ensure that we do maintain jobs and we do maintain stability here, and we do move towards growth. So I think, it's helpful that we have a measured and reasonable tone, that we don't shout abuse across the chamber at each other on this, and that the debate at a national level is conducted in the same way. And I think that that's what we would all hope for in the debate. I think but it's very useful just to reflect, as we are at committee stage, on the actual words in the bill that we're debating. Thank you.